guys, it is Tristan with Nerdouts Newsstand, and I want to talk about the Snyder Cut. Now, first off, spoiler alert, I will be going through the characters, my favorite things, what I hated, everything, and I am going to jump around. But this is your final warning, spoilers to come. Now, there is a lot to talk about. I'm going to talk about the good, I'm going to talk about the bad, and then I'm going to go through individual characters. But first off, I am not going to go through this in a judgmental eye. And what I mean by that is I've been very critical of Zack Snyder thus far. I am going to be fair. I am going to put my bias to the side as best I can and be fair when it comes to recent drama. Also, I'm judging the movie, not the person, not the way they act, not the unprofessionalism. I'm judging the movie. So, in order for me to judge the movie, you have to be fair and listen to what I'm talking about before judging me. Now, first off, let's start off with the Snyder Cut versus Joss Wheton cut. And they are two completely different movies. Sure, they may start the same or similar. They may end similar, but they are nothing similar. Now, to be fair, I didn't hate Joss Wheton's cut. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I also like seeing these characters that I absolutely adore on screen. So that's really where my bias lies. But Zack Snyder's cut was far, and I mean far, superior to what we've seen from Joss Wheton. Now, did that make it wonderful? No. Actually, we're going to go through a lot of what I disliked. But yes, this was a much better movie. But he also had double the time to put it together. Do I think had it been in his original vision, it would have been better to begin with? Yeah, absolutely. I really, really do. So now, I am going to start off by saying that I was underwhelmed. I was really loving this movie when it came to the middle of it. The beginning kind of knocked me off and the end kind of knocked me off. And I'm going to go through all of that. I was disappointed overall. I would say it is something I won't. And I'm kind of glad it's not continuing. I'm kind of glad this whole saga is over. But then again, like I've said in previous times, do you want this or do you want J.J. Abrams? It's a hard decision, right? So anyways, I will be streaming about this weekend. I will let you guys know if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday and a time and try to be on time. But we're going to go through this in, simple details now, and we'll go through it its entirety on a live stream. So let's start off with the good. I think that's fair. The Amazons. I was really impressed by the way that he did the Amazons as a whole. I really like that they utilized Philippus more. I really like that she had a more prominent role. She's a great Amazon, and putting her a little bit closer to the front makes sense. I was really happy to see that. I did love the self-sacrifice that they made when sealing off the mother box. As sad as it was, and as useless, honestly, as it was, it still was beautiful. It was a warrior's death. The world building, and I'll tell you, the Amazons in this were probably my favorite part, whether it's Wardrobe or Paradise Island, showing just the simple side of the Paradise Island, showing the Mascara as, merchants or people, not just warriors. I really enjoyed that world building. And I think that's what made the difference between Wonder Woman 2 and Wonder Woman 1, was that world building, was that Zack Snyder effect. Now, Amazons were amazing. Also, the old god scene was wonderfully done. There was a little bit of CGI off right in the beginning. The guy kind of looked like a tall midget. It was very weird. But the level of detail put into not only every single person involved, but again, the Amazons, the level of detail put into the hairdress, into the outfits, into the bust, into the skirts, into the weapons was beautiful. I absolutely loved that. It was really great to see the clash between the old gods and the new gods. But I don't think Zack Snyder went far enough. He didn't explain to anybody, not a single person, what a new god was. They just were. And that's a shame. Also, I did think he did a great job with the secondary characters, other than the Amazons, of course. Silas Stone had a much more prominent role in this. And at first, when he died, I was like, this is really silly. It was really unneeded. But the way he charged the mother box so it could be tracked for his son, for the world, was really, really great. I do think him being a little bit further ahead, showing that he loved his son, was really great. Ryan Choi, a simple name drop. And I was excited. I really would like, if this would go further, which it's not, to see that character develop into the Atom, right? That's something Marvel does, is they'll name drop something, and then 3 movies later, you'll see the full effect of that character. They really take their time. And this was the first time we've ever seen DC do it, even though this is the end of the road. Also, Commissioner Gordon, I really liked him. It wasn't in it much, right? But even so, I think they got him right. And also Alfred. My favorite Alfred I've seen yet to date. I love the actor, but I just think he got the relationship with Bruce so right. He got the relationship with Bruce's friend so right. When he is giving and kind of overpowering Wonder Woman, telling her about the tea, and then she finds something out, and then he goes back while she's busy and makes her tea because he's a servant, right? That's what he's used to. I loved it. I think they did a great job with Alfred. But now we need to talk about the bad. Ready to be triggered? Yeah. The CGI was very off in a lot of places, especially in the beginning. The Wonder Woman scene, which we're going to talk about specifically when we get to Wonder Woman, was really, really off. It didn't look right. I'm sorry, it didn't look right. When she was throwing the bomb in the air, it looked right. But most of the other time, it did not. As far as the score goes and the music involved, I wasn't impressed, except when it came to Wonder Woman's theme. The rest of the score to me was kind of dreary, down, depressing. There was some songs about gods in there. And one thing that Marvel does, again, that DC doesn't, is make these characters not gods, but heroes. Gods want to be worshipped. Heroes want to save the world. And that's the biggest problem Zack Snyder has. Also, especially in the first third of the movie, I would say, the overuse of the slow motion effect almost made the movie impossible to watch at points. And I don't mind that effect when it's really used right with the Flash, or it's used right breaking through a window like we've seen with the Flash. That was a really good job. But it was overused. It was used time and time and time again. And I felt like that almost added probably 20-30 minutes to the movie alone, just in the first half of the movie. But then again, it did kind of go off towards the end, which made it a little bit better. Now, my biggest plot hole beef would be there was absolutely no, and I mean 0 military involvement, which makes 0 sense. Had there been this big dome arise, had there been this parademons everywhere, the military would have been involved. They should have been working alongside them, not against them. But there was an absence, 100% of military, and it made no sense whatsoever. So one scene specifically I didn't care for was the revival of Superman. Now, these special effects in this scene were amazing. The way that they did it was good. My biggest problem was that Superman was way too over the top. He was way too overpowered in this situation. If you've ever read the comics and know when Superman dies, especially in Death of Superman, there is a revival point. There is a point where Superman is depowered or lower powered in order to absorb the sun, and actually go to that point where he can be overpowered. I think Zack Snyder doesn't know the limitations of Superman's powers, and that's a shame, because he wouldn't come from dead to beating up the entire league in an instant. And besides, we've seen Diana go toe-to-toe with Superman many, many times, and in this instance, she couldn't. So I think that was a shame. So one small pick I have to do is when we saw the sign for Arkham, when we're going into the Lex Luthor scene. It literally said Arkham for the emotionally troubled. What? Excuse me, what? It's Arkham for the criminally insane. Were you afraid to offend somebody, Zach? Like, honestly, that was really dumb. But regardless, that's a little pick. Now, this is going to be a big pick because we've heard about this nightmare scene over and over and over again. And not only was the nightmare scene at the very end, like within the last 5 minutes, it was very short and very terrible. Just terrible. Like the worst scene in the entire movie. First off, Batman's carrying a gun. Mind you, it's all a dream. I get it. You're going to say it's a dream. Oh my God, he can carry a gun in a dream. Batman thinks guns are for cowards. Batman would not carry a gun. All right, let's move on. This whole scene was added for 2 reasons, and they're both name drops. It was simply added, well, maybe to make Jared Leto look better, but honestly, his Joker was absolutely, and I mean the worst Joker I've ever seen. The worst Joker I've ever seen, whether it is a cosplayer or the Halloween trick-or-treater that comes around. The worst Joker I have ever seen. Jared Leto, quit trying to make it work. You can't laugh. You can't talk. You are so cringy. Now, he did say, Batman did say in that point that he was going to kill Joker. Again, Batman would never kill Joker. It just, that whole we live in a society thing was simply for the trailer. It actually wasn't even in that part. And the way that Joker gets, Batman annoyed is by talking about how he killed Boy Wonder, right? And that's, one of the big points they put this in was simply for those name drops. Well, then Batman turns around and talks about how Harley Quinn died in his arms. Joker wouldn't care. Do you not understand Joker and Harley's relationship? Joker never gave a shit about Harley, but it almost made him so mad he attacked Batman. No, Joker wouldn't care. That scene was terrible. Like, I know that was the rewrites and, or the reshoots, I'm sorry, but wow, bad. So anyway, we need to talk about Martian Manhunter also, because this is definitely under my bad. Martian Manhunter's involvement in this was good as Martha. When he went to talk to Lois, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was sweet. I saw the pain in Lois' eyes. I really liked that. The CGI at the end was so bad. I love seeing Martian Manhunter. He's not used enough anymore. The last run we've seen is from Steve Orlando, and that wasn't even good. I would love to see more Martian Manhunter besides in the League, which he's not even in now. Yeah, not this way. Not this way. No. It was, not very well done at all. I know he tried. I get it. I'll give you props for trying. It's better than anything I could ever create, but wow, bad. So another big complaint is there's very little Darkseid in this, right? It was supposed to be this whole thing. We're supposed to look forward to Darkseid coming to Earth, except for he doesn't at all. And we barely see him. Really cool seeing Darkseid more than we did Darkseid. Really cool seeing Granny, except for she's about a fourth of the size Granny should be. Again, I want to make this clear. This is no fault of any of the actors. This is all on the writing. I want to be clear with that. So, the Lex boat scene was also something else. Lex should have never, ever been in Arkham. Lex is not insane. That version of Lex they created by Jesse Eisenberg is Lex in name only. Lex is very smart. One of the smartest people in the DC universe. Lex is very business oriented. He only does things if it benefits him. Lex is not belonging in Arkham for the criminally insane. He belongs in Blackgate. And they do this whole thing where Deathstroke is going to try to kill the Batman pro bono. Deathstroke doesn't do mercenary work pro bono, and you never gave us a good enough reason to believe why he would do anything pro bono. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But sure, okay. All right, let's go through the characters quickly individually. Because Wonder Woman, we're going to start with. And within the first 10 minutes of this movie, you see Wonder Woman murder multiple people. And I mean multiple people. She throws them against the wall. You see blood splatter. And then when she's trying to save the children, she throws the bomb up and away and then comes back down. And we see the man trying to kind of assassinate everybody against the wall. Well, Diana is able to go so fast, she blocks every single bullet. But she's not able to go so fast that she wraps him up in her lasso. Bullshit. You made her a murderer. It's as simple as that. Now, on the other hand, her wardrobe was spectacular. Like, beautiful. I loved every single outfit she wore. Like, it was pretty impressive. The outfits between Diana and the Amazons. I love the clothes more than anything. So, Arthur, oh boy. I like Jason Momoa as Arthur. There's one big, one big bitch. The whole talking in the bubble thing, that was ridiculous. Do not think that Arthur has talked underwater for years. Like years. You're talking in a bubble. Every single time you open your mouth, you have to make an air bubble. That's ridiculous. It was dumb then, and it's dumb now. Now, also they gave Amber Heard as Mira this really, and I mean really bad accent. An accent, mind you, that she didn't have in Aquaman. Really bad accent. Regardless, let's go to Flash. He was nothing like Barry at all. At all. Maybe he could have passed for Wally West, but he was completely a different character. Another in name only. Now, the rewind scene he did towards the end at the big climax of the movie, he did amazing. I loved the scene. I loved the way it looked like he was almost going through the multiverse. Like he was almost about to touch the different planets and scapes within reality. That was beautiful. The way they do the lightning around him, beautifully done. But he tried way too hard to be comic relief. Sometimes he was generally funny, but for the most part, it came off very forced, and that's unfortunate. One thing I did really like is how we got a better explanation with his father and his mother and what was going on. But also in the same sentence, why didn't he ask somebody for help in the league like Bruce Wayne? Like Cyborg, literally a computer that could go through every single file on his father and find out where the false accusations were coming from. Find out where the evidence was at and figure out how to exonerate him. But instead, his father stayed in prison. Makes sense. All right. Cyborg. Ray Fisher, I must give it to him, and I must be fair. He did a great job. He was a great actor in this. I think he did the role really, really, really well. And I was impressed. As far as his personal explanation as to who he was great. He was, in an accident with his mother. His father wasn't there. And his father brought him back to life using the mother box. It was great. One scene I absolutely adored from him was when, his father's trying to teach him through the audio how to be Cyborg. And we see him looking at this single mother who is down on her luck, who's working all she can as a waitress. And we see him give her some money. And I really, like, that pulled on my heartstrings. I really enjoyed that scene. And I thought it was really beneficial to his character, along with his mother backstory, talking about where it came from, 61982. How they got it, where it's been, and what they've done with it. Now, a little bit kind of a fast learner, I would say. There was not really a learning curve with him. He just kind of knew how to use his powers. Yeah, we call that a Mary Sue, honey. Anyway, so let's talk about Superman. Superman was only in the last, half, a little bit less than half of the film. He was way too overpowered. He was a wasted opportunity when it came to his black recovery suit. The black suit wasn't a recovery suit. It was a simple fashion choice. You wasted an opportunity to use something that has been a plot point for years. Instead, made it about Henry Cavill looking good. Okay. All right. Batman was my biggest complaint besides the murderer Diana. Batman was only there for a few reasons. 1, to give exposition. 2, his money and pep talks. That's it. They didn't show a single quality from Batman that was special to his character. They didn't show this amazing detective that he is. They showed a little bit of his gadgets, as far as War Machine goes and the Nightcrawler. That's it. He was just there. You took the biggest property in Warner Brothers and you made him a framing device. And I get it, you need a framing device. But by the end of the movie, you didn't need that framing device, so you threw it out the window. He was simply there. It was really, really shameful that you used the character that way. But, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below, whether you enjoyed it or not. I would give it, if I had to give it a score out of 10, I would say it's a 5. It's a 6 maybe, just because I love these characters. But you can love a character and also see an injustice done to them. And that's what I saw in this movie. I'm hoping when I watch it a second time that I'll enjoy it, but I'm not sure that's going to happen because there's a lot off with this movie. It feels a lot in name only. And that's not my bias showing. That's the reality of the situation. We'll talk about it in detail this weekend. I'll post the time on my community post, so make sure you're subscribed, hit like, leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.